A lot of people are asking me, hey, can we split up the deposits? Can we pay in different things?
We are live. Happy Friday, Facebook. Man, we got the tribe view going on, but we are certainly live. BP, you're muted, my man. Unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
There we go. I'm over here doing the fucking intro and shit. You motherfuckers can't hear me. So yeah, before you see I got my shirt coming back from the Philippines. This is actually a gift from our virtual assistants, and they got you a little something over there too. So anyway, guys, we are the AZ Flip guys. That is Cashflow Chris. I am Cashflow Creator. We are just two ordinary guys doing extraordinary things, talking about real estate, mindset, and everything in between. And yes, you guys heard me right. I am back from the fucking Philippines. Just landed yesterday. Literally landed at 8 p.m. here in fucking LA. 12-hour flight from China to LA. I had a 12-hour layover in China, and it was about a 3-hour flight from Manila to China. Damn. So I was traveling all fucking day yesterday. All fucking day. And, you know, I had the option to go sleep at a hotel, but if you guys know me, that's not an option, especially when I'm in a different country. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go out there. Nonetheless, guys, I am super, super excited to be, A, not only to be back, we'll be talking about my experience, but B, to have our special guest. So I had the privilege to be introduced to this guy. Before I was introduced to this guy, I remember connecting with him online, as we tend to do in social media. You know, we have mutual friends. We're doing the same type of business. You guys have those type of friends. You know, you don't really know these motherfuckers. You just add them because you have things in common. Nonetheless, he was one of those people. And I remember watching him, and I remember, man, who the fuck is this guy? Look at this motherfucker always fucking talking shit all the fucking time. Like, who the fuck is this motherfucker over here? I didn't really know him. And you know what? One thing about me is I'm not one to judge. People have always chosen to judge me. People have always chosen to make assumptions of who I am, what I'm capable of, based on what I say, based on what I post, based on other shit that has nothing to do with who I am. So I didn't judge. I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? I got the opportunity to then get a chance to speak at the event. And once I met them, I really got it. I understood what it was. So he is the fearless leader of a group that you guys heard me and Chris talk about all the time, Kingdom Real Estate. It's something where me and Chris come in there and we're constantly putting stuff out there. I'm constantly putting videos. And as I mentioned to you guys, I do offer mentorship for mental mindset stuff. But one of the places where I do share my skills and my talent is here in the Kingdom. So we have one of the founders of the Kingdom over here, Mr. Jordan Stanley Payne. How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing phenomenal. Thanks for having me on, guys. Really appreciate it. What are you drinking over there?
Fucking water, bro. Just fucking. Dude, I'm in my aunt's house, so I don't even know what the fuck she's got.
I thought we had an understanding if I was coming on the show, all three of us would be drinking PBR.
Wow. Well, just so to make you feel better, I smoked a big fat joint before getting started. So
there we go.
So as I said, guys, I am back here from the Philippines, but I'm super excited to have our boy Jordan in the house. Got to the Kingdom, and I had an opportunity to speak in the Kingdom. You know, I remember Jordan messaging me and saying, hey, we're going to be, you know, it's a 3-day event. Feel free to come for the 3 days if you wish to, or you can just come and speak, whatever, but feel free to come for the event. And, you know, I talked to one of my mentors, Mr. Jeff Fagan, and he said, hey, you know what? A lot of times when I throw events, these speakers, they just come in, they do their talk, they leave, and they don't interact with people. And the ones that do, they're the ones that get the most benefit out of this as a speaker. The ones that stay there are the ones that actually sit there and interact with people. So I took that as a lesson, and I said, you know what? A, there was a few people that I was interested in hearing talk anyway. B, I took that as an opportunity to, oh, you know what? Let me kind of get to know who I'm going to be talking to, who I'm going to be sharing the message. Because one of the things that I hate about speakers, and Jordan, you may agree with me on here, but I hate speakers that just fucking talk at you. Like, these motherfuckers have a message. This is my message. I'm going to do this. My 5 steps to success. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck me sideways. God damn it. And being somebody who has actually gone to a lot of these events, being somebody who has actually spent a lot of money at these kind of events, I knew that once I had the opportunity to speak, I wanted to be different. I wanted it to be impactful. I don't just want to be out there fucking preaching some horse shit. I wanted to kind of get to know who I was talking to. And that's one of the things that ended up happening there. But as part of the group, I started realizing, you know what, this is a little different. This is different than anything that I've been to. This is a culture. This is a family. This is somewhere where there's no back of the room. There's no upselling. There's no pitching. It was just a way for people to get better. And as we're at the event, I see people coming in and out of this room. And I ask somebody what the fuck is going on. And they're like, oh, there's a life coach. And she's over there. And if you have any issues, you come in and you can talk with them while the event is going on. So literally they were pulling people out of the event saying, hey man, you know, your hour, half an hour, whatever time she was giving to them. And I'm like, you know, this is very, very different. Most of these events are ego driven. Most of these events are check me out, check who the fuck I know. But the Kingdom was really, really different. So I say all of that because you got to give credit where credit is due. And obviously, you know, I met, do you know, Jordan, do you know who Caleb Maddox is?
Yeah.
So I've actually got a chance to meet Caleb, and I ran into him a few times since. But when I first met him, I found out that his dad was in the same room. Mm-hmm. I wasn't interested in talking to Caleb. Now everybody wanted to talk to Caleb because he was a social media sensation, whatever. I'm like, get the fuck out of the way, bro. Let me talk to your fucking dad because he is the foundation behind this. You know, He is the guy that said, hey man, you know, I think Caleb was 15 at the time. He's 17 now. And I was like, dude, you didn't learn this shit yourself. Like, you didn't pull this shit out of your ass. This was something that was put together. So when I see the Kingdom and the way that it is, I'm like, okay, you know, this just didn't happen. This is just not something that somebody said, hey man, let's get together and then this culture happened. This is something that was built. And that was a very, very long intro to say that I'm super excited to get our man fucking Jordan in here because you got to give credit where credit is due. You know, as I said, this shit just wasn't built overnight. This shit just wasn't didn't pop out of nowhere. So Jordan, you know what? Why don't we go ahead?
No, I mean, and there's a lot of people, to your point, that have jumped in and they're like, hey, I'm gonna recreate the fucking Kingdom. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. I can just drink a bunch of PBR and jump on Facebook Live and I could have the Kingdom. What people don't see is the entire backstory. They don't see the fucking culture. They don't see the 3+ years of people like, you know, Chris and BP and myself and Todd Fleming pouring into people. So, you know, there's a story behind Caleb. There's a story behind the Kingdom. There's a story behind anything that happens. And it's a culture. And it's something that has to be built. It can't be duplicated. It has to be built, and it takes years to do it. So I'm fucking thrilled to be here with you guys.
Yeah, and we had this conversation here recently with Chris where we've noticed other people were doing something similar to what we're doing. And you know, I told him often imitated but never duplicated. Yeah. Because what people don't see is all the behind the work. So I am part of many mastermind groups, as I said. One of the mastermind groups that I belong to is something called Secret Knock. Secret Knock is a high-level mastermind group. And I had the opportunity to speak at Secret Knock. Now, I've been going to Secret Knock for about 4 years. Never had I done public speaking, at least in the area where they would know me. So I have a conversation with the founder. I have some mentorship stuff that I'm doing with him, and he gives me an opportunity to speak on stage. I go up on stage and I just knock this shit out of the fucking park, dude. I do a 5-6 minute presentation. Like, he gave me a 10-minute presentation. I did a 5-minute presentation, said what I said, and just dropped the mic and fucking killed it. People came up to me like, oh my God, bro. Yep. Oh my God, man. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. What these motherfuckers don't understand though, is that I have been public speaking for the last 10+ years. What these motherfuckers don't understand is that I was doing real estate stuff. I was doing poetry stuff. I was doing open mic type of shit where I was learning to hone my craft. Mm-hmm. They didn't see all that shit behind, because that shit didn't come with the public speaker type of performance behind it. But those 10 years where I was at these little shitty clubs doing my poetry, perfecting myself, getting to know my cadences, my pitch levels, when to pause, when to take it back, when to step it up. They just saw the finished product and said, "Oh my God, where the fuck did this come from, man?" And that goes to your point where people just see what we do. You know, people think, "Hey, man, if we can just jump on Facebook Live and just start doing like blah blah blah, then I'm gonna get the same type of result." And that's not the way it works.
It's the exact same thing with business, and I think social media, Instagram specifically, fucking ruined an entire generation of entrepreneurs. Because all they see is the finished product. All they see is the Lamborghini in the penthouse, and I'm hanging out with my 2 fake girls that I had to hire for the weekend on the yacht that I had to rent. People see the after product, and they don't see the fact that, dude, it takes a long freaking time, and there's a lot of effort, and there's a lot of honing, and there's a lot of mindset that goes into it. So I think Instagram and Facebook and social media in general has ruined it for a lot of people, because BP, if you were to go back and tell people, hey, look, this is what I had to do to get to where I am now, and if you want what I have, you can just duplicate it. That's not sexy, dude. That's not appealing. Why would I want to go work my ass off to have, to speak like BP, or to have a business like so-and-so, or to close a deal? People don't want to hear that shit.
People don't want to hear that shit. And this is why I was attracted. So when I first saw you, as I said, I was like, who the fuck is this motherfucker here talking all this shit? You were like the anti-guru person.
Was I talking shit?
Oh, you're always talking shit, bro. That's why I love you. But you were like the anti-guru. You were constantly calling people out on their shit. And one thing that people know about me is that I've toned it back, because now I don't give a fuck, dude. Like, fucking let people do whatever the fuck they want. That's not my business. Fuck them. But before, dude, I used to be very, very calling people out on their shit. So one of the things that I noticed about you, though, is that you were constantly calling out the gurus on their shit. And one of the biggest gripes that I have with gurus is that they give you this bullshit ass formula, follow my 5 steps to success, and you're going to make it happen. Then they have fucking thousands of people in their fucking thing. 1 or 2 people make money. They make examples of one of those 2 people and say, hey, if you follow my system and if you mail to my list, you're going to get a deal just like Joe. And what happens with these people, because I know these people, I see them, some of these people come and end up doing business with me. The people that make money right off the bat usually don't last, because they don't understand the process. They didn't have that time in the foundation to build the shit. They want the instant success. They get it. Dude, I knew this one guy, my very first mentoring student. This guy, fuck, dude, he struggled. He made his deal. As soon as he made money, now he wanted to go fucking live it up and go fucking spend all this money and go to Vegas and do all this stupid shit that you see, just to go back and being broke to where he was anyway, all because he was trying to keep up some bullshit ass persona that he wasn't to begin with, because this is what the gurus are out there teaching. Yeah. And one of the things that I think me and you agree in a lot, Jordan, is the fact that there is no cookie cutter, one solution fits all type of personality. There is no, hey, do the 1, 2, 3, and it's guaranteed to work for you.
100%, man. And I'm for clarity, I am not anti-guru. I am not. No. I'm not anti-education. I'm not anti-paid education. I'm not anti-mentorship, anti-masterminds, anything like that. What I'm against is, and BP, you alluded to it earlier, is the fucking bullshit, man, and the deception and the lies and all of that. Like I am a huge advocate for education, but I was ranting about this on my personal Facebook the other day. Like, how come people only teach transactional, and how come nobody's interested in teaching the relationship side of being a CEO and solving a problem? And I use the example of like a probate deal, right? Like everyone's big on probate deals, and my issue with these educators is they teach you that lady whose husband just died, she's a fucking formula. And I'm over here like that's a person.
That's somebody's grandmama.
That's a person going through the hardest point in their life. Their entire world's a fucking wreck. Everyone's lying to them. Everybody's swarming in like vultures. And I hate the fact that so many people just teach a formula. Don't care about her, but if you go ARV times That's how you do it, and that's how you run a business. I think that's bullshit. So I
completely agree with you.
I've been calling a lot of educators out and saying, man, why don't you guys teach relationship? Why don't you teach how we're supposed to treat people?
Well, and I can answer that question for you because so I was in the similar mindset. I got the similar type of I messaged that you did. I listened to this and I'm like, dude, this is horseshit. They're teaching transactional. They're not showing you different. And I started my mentorship back then, and I was teaching people doing real estate. But I realized, why don't instead of teaching transactional, why don't I teach them the whole package of like, dude, it starts in your mind. It starts with building relationships. It's all about networking and it's all about communication. People don't like that. People want that quick, if you do this, you get this. And
you
this
can't
is why,
sell that.
Exactly. You can't sell that. It's easy to sell. Now, because I live in Phoenix, Arizona, we're right next to Scottsdale, and we are one of the 2 hubs. And I tell people, if you look at all the gurus, they normally come from Tampa or from fucking Scottsdale. Like that's the large majority of your big name gurus. They all come from there. Now, because I've been in the industry for 13 years now, I have either done directly or indirectly business with these gurus.
Sure.
And I've known some of them before they even got to where they're at. One guy in particular, I know for a fact that he's a much, 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 much better marketer than he ever was a real estate investor, because I personally dealt with them. And when they come and say, I have all the secret skills to show you how to be the best real estate investor, I'm like, how, motherfucker? You didn't even know what the fuck you were fucking doing. You're over here begging me to fucking cut you a fucking deal because, oh my God, I don't know, fucking, my team's not gonna make it. Motherfucker, I didn't tell you to fucking lock up this deal at this fucking price. Like, what the fuck are you fucking crying to me about? This guy was turning around and selling, well, I got the secrets to blah, 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 blah. That kind of shit pisses me off. When I see the people getting taken advantage of, I have a good friend who used to be a speaker for Armando Montalago. Yeah. He quit because he's like, dude, I feel bad taking these people's money. I feel I can't sleep at night anymore. I don't care how much this motherfucker's paying me. Like, I feel bad taking these people's money, knowing that we're not following through with the stuff that we say that we're going. And I don't know if you know anything about that guy's programs, but his programs ran for 30, 40, 50 grand for like a weekend bus tour or some stupid shit like that.
And they didn't even have PBR. So.
Not at all.
What the fuck?
And this is why you want to run your business differently. And that's why so many people enjoy it. In fact, we have a ton of people in from the kingdom. We got Roy Rocha here.
Yeah.
Let's see who else we got. We got Andy Solo. Hey, VP, we got Sterling Anderson in the house right before his wedding.
Right before his wedding. What's up, man?
Let's see. We got JT Turner saying most people would quit if they knew the work it takes to get off the ground. True that, man.
JT knows because JT is one of my mentorship students.
Who else we got? We got Don Bearden in the house. We got Dusty Helms. So a lot of the kingdom members.
Yeah, buddy.
They can protect, attest to everything.
And Chris, what I'm going to have you do this time, because normally I'm the one reading the comments, but because of our situation at this point, I don't have my laptop and I can't see who's commenting. So just let us know any questions or anything. And I promise you guys that we will get into talking passive income, but this is the part of life that people don't fucking understand. They see the success. They see the end product, as you were saying, and they don't care about the fucking process. They don't understand the process. So Jordan, you're going to love this shit. My mentorship students, number one, the very first assignment that I have them do is I have them go watch the fucking Karate Kid, the original Karate Kid. And I said, pay close attention to that fucking movie. And I want you to understand that I'm Mr. Miyagi and you're fucking Daniel-san. And I'm going to have you waxing cars, and I'm going to have you painting houses, and I'm going to have you sanding floors, and you're going to be bitching and complaining about what the fuck does this have to do with real estate? What the fuck does this have to do with success? Everything. Just to fucking find out that it has everything to do.
Hey, just like Jordan, you got your challenges for your people. It's not, a lot of them might say, hey, what is going and making a little bit of side cash? What does that have to do with real estate investing?
Fucking everything. So for anybody in the audience that doesn't know, in the Kingdom Real Estate, I've got a series called Fuck Fear. And it's 100% designed to get people out of their comfort zone and out of their own head so that they can actually succeed. And I know both of you guys are big onto getting out of your own head, so you get out of your own way.
Oh yeah.
So one of the, and this, I'll tie this into cash flow here, but one of the challenges was outside of your job, outside of your ordinary income, I want you to go out and raise hundreds of dollars creatively. Yeah. What does that have to do with real estate? Dude, how the fuck, how do you think you're going to raise $1 million in private money if you can't even go create $250 creatively? You know?
Right.
100%. And if you can learn how to do it on a small scale, if you can learn how to use your head and create $100, you can create $500, 500, 1,000, 1,000, 5,000, etc. And that is 100% what I've done in real estate. You know, I didn't start with, you know, great credit or a lot of money in the bank, and, you know, people would, you know, laugh me out of the bank lobby because I was trying to get a loan and I didn't understand what was going on. In my business, I had to 100% create every single thing that I have. And it started with that very, very small. I shared the story the other day. One of the things that we did when I started really, really small was I borrowed $300 from my wife to buy a truck that we flipped for $1,500. And once I learned how to do that and that mindset and that process, well, going out and flipping a house was the exact same thing. It wasn't $300, but, you know, I borrowed money, got into an asset, and I flipped it, et cetera, et cetera.
So my mentor has a saying that I constantly teaching my students, that I'm constantly repeating to myself: how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah.
How you do anything is how you do everything. And just like Jordan was alluding to, if you are over here and you're learning how to creatively raise $250, well, guess what? You can now fucking raise 250,000 because it's just more zeros. But the skill set that comes with it is the same thing. Now, this takes me back to my fucking Mr. Miyagi example. He's over here. There's a point in the movie where Daniel says, fuck this shit, man. What the fuck is going on? You got me fucking waxing thing. You painted me your whole fucking house. I painted your whole goddamn fences. And I'm trying to fucking learn karate, motherfucker, like you told me you were going to fucking...
I don't remember that part.
No,
that
was a different...
I'm paraphrasing.
you got a different version of that movie than me.
I'm paraphrasing. But he's mad. He's like, what the fuck does this have to do with karate? And then Mr. Miyagi gets mad and he's like, drop the fucking bucket, put your hands up, do this, do that, do that. And he starts realizing, oh shit, man, you know, these are moves that are helping me get to these things. It's the basics. It's getting the skill set. And this is what I love about being part of the kingdom myself. I went to the event. I had an opportunity to speak. I'm sitting there. I'm watching these people. Now, I had my whole fucking skit all prepared, and I see these people, and I'm like, fuck, they need a different message. They need something different. They need a little shake. And, you know, as I've told Jordan many times, I understand my role, and I know that I'm a fucking bull in the china shop. So I needed to come and shake things up. And honestly, Jordan, I changed my message probably 10 minutes before the fucking, before my presentation.
You came during that meditation session.
During that meditation session. Which, you know, I really did, because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about, how can I get them the foundation to this shit? Everybody comes and talks about the tactical side, the how. How can I get them what they really need?
Wait till next week, man. I am legitimately blindsiding the shit out of everybody in attendance on day one. So I've got you guys. Did you guys watch the movie that Fire Festival film? You guys watch that documentary?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
BP, promise me you'll watch that before next weekend.
Okay.
What a shit show that was,
dude. So they have this line, BP. It was the greatest festival that never happened. They sold like 10,000 people on this festival, and then it never happened. So I've been joking around with people saying, Connect Charlotte is the greatest real estate event that never happened. Because when people show up and they think, man, BP is going to teach me how to do a fucking lease option, and Chris is going to teach me how to do a subject to, and Jordan's going to teach me about passive income. When they show up expecting that, and then the entire first 35 hours is nothing about real estate. It's going to be the greatest real estate event that never happened. I'm fired up, dude. I'm gonna blindside the shit out of people.
Well, and this is why I am a big fan of what you're talking about. And guys, as I'm telling you, and I alluded to earlier, this has everything to do with passive income. Because one of the things that me and Jordan focus on the most, one of the things that we agree on the most is the mindset. So I got up there and I had this speech prepared. I was going to talk to them about I came from nothing, and if I can make it, you can make it too, and give you one of these horseshit ass inspirational fucking speeches. And I'm sitting there at the event. I got to speak closer to the end of the second day. So I'm a day and a half with seeing these people, and I'm having lunch with them, and I'm having drinks with them, and I'm conversating with them, and we're hanging at the pool together. And I'm hearing these people now. Most of them have no idea who the fuck I am. Most of them had never heard of me at that point. So I'm just kind of sitting there, kind of blending in with the crowd, and I keep on hearing excuse. I can't do this because of here. I haven't done my first deal because of this. I haven't done this. I haven't raised any private money because of blah, 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 blah. So not knowing the situation, not knowing if Jordan was even going to be okay with it or not, I said, man, you know what? You guys are all fucking full of shit. Like, all you motherfuckers are straight up fucking full of shit. And the reason why you can't do X, Y, Z is because you're full of shit and you have all these fucking excuses. All these bullshit ass excuses. And we went into the mindset of why you're full of shit and how that holds you back. The amount of people that came up to me and thanked me for calling them out on their bullshit was something that was extremely refreshing to me. Jordan came up to me, and I don't know if you remember this, but we were at Topgolf, and you came up to me, you're like, hey man, are you open to some constructive criticism? And I'm like, oh fuck man, here we go.
I don't remember anything from that night, so.
So he came up to me, he was like, dude, are you open to some constructive criticism? And I'm like, yeah, dude, of course I am. And he's like, change absolutely nothing. Jordan, you told me I've had 9 people come up to me so far saying thank you for having that guy, because I realized that I'm completely full of shit.
Yeah, you know what? Michelle says that you hurt her feelings that day, but you know what? It's probably something you needed to hear.
Exactly.
But that's our entire fucking mantra though, because people think that when I go to a real estate convention or a real estate event, I'm gonna grab my name tag, my allotted 30-cent bottle of water, and my little goodie handbag, and I'm gonna go sit down. All these people are gonna speak at me. They're gonna go out the back and jump on their jet and go to their next speaking engagement. That's what people expect, and a big part of what we wanted to create is this is not an event. It's not a conference. It's not a seminar. It's not a convention. Like, you're coming to hear real shit from real people. And I think that's why your message resonated so well with so many people, was they were expecting, I'm going to learn about lease options. Well, no, the first thing you said to everybody in attendance was you're full of shit, And that goes along so much in line with what you teach and what I teach, Well,
and this is one of the things that I love about the culture that you created, because the people some of them were mad, some of them might have been offended, but they took a step back and they realized, you know what, I needed to fucking hear that shit. And sometimes you do. I have a little brother. I love this guy. Like, we're super close. We're 11 months apart. We shared a room pretty much most of our life, all the way up to adulthood. Excuse me. And I love him more than anything. Last year, he was going through some crazy depression. Some fucking crazy chick did him dirty one way or the other, and he was just going through the worst fucking depression.
Naturally, yep.
And which was fine until it lingered on for more than 4, 5, 6 months, and now his business is suffering, and he's not paying the bills. He's just getting it's going bad. I had to pull this motherfucker off to the side, and I had to fucking call him out on his shit. I had to be like, what the fuck are you fucking doing? What type of fucking example are you leaving for your fucking son? You think it's all right for your little son to live off your fucking big son? You think it's all right for the older brother to be paying for him? Is that the fucking example that you want to be? You want to act like a little bitch? You want to fucking cry like a little bitch? He didn't like that. But he needed to hear that. And now that he's fucking gone over this shit, his birthday post to me had a lot to do with, hey, thank you for helping me get out of my fucking funk. Thank you for helping me get out of this depression. And that's one thing that I think that you and me resonate a lot with. And one of the things that we're always talking about is mindset. And people don't get the fact that the mindset, the inner creates the outer. They don't understand that the mindset is what's going to get you to financial freedom. This was going to help you get to fucking passive income because everybody knows that you need passive income.
Yeah.
But if people don't have the right mindset, they'll never actively search passive income. When I tell people that I'm fucking lazy, they laugh. But in reality, everybody wants to make money and not do shit.
So I don't know if you guys remember this. There was a scene. I say a scene. There was a moment in Dallas, Texas. So for anybody that doesn't know, BP and Chris both joined us in Arizona. They joined us in Dallas, Texas, and we're getting ready. All of us are getting ready to jump on a plane here in a couple of days to head to Charlotte.
Yep.
In Dallas, Texas, I don't know if you guys remember. There was a moment when I said, and for those of you guys that are watching live on your phone, you can post this in the comments if you want. There was a moment when I asked, how many of you know how to do a lease option? If you guys are watching live, you can post it in the comments. Yes, I know how to do a lease option. I asked, how many of you guys know how to do a wholesale deal? How many of you guys know how to flip in theory? Man, dude, every fucking hand went up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got this one. Yeah, cool. Then I said, how many of you guys have never done a deal? 90% of hands went, they're like, oh shit. So dude, like 100%, it's not the fact that you don't know how to do something. It's not the fact that you don't understand the mechanics of how to do a wholesale deal or a flip or whatever. It's not that you don't understand the mechanics and the wheels and the guts of it. There's something going on that's prohibiting you from getting to where you want to go.
That's why my message was
outer.
You're full of shit, because I realized that all these, like, the tools were there. You guys were very accessible. You guys were teaching, hey, here's exactly how it's done. Some of these people had already been with you for a while. You know, one or two of these people I personally knew, and I'm like, fuck, you have all this information, you have access to these people, and you're still not doing anything? That's because you're full of shit and your mindset is fucked up.
So Jordan, you're running across these guys every day. I mean, you've got a pretty big foundation. What is it? What's holding these people back? You're saying they have the skill set, but they're not doing it. Why?
So I use this word loosely, and you guys get it, but probably not everybody does. But there's a lot of people that are 100% in the matrix. They're 100% in the matrix. And I'm looking for something here. And I'm showing them a picture. Hey, look, this is freedom. Okay. So they're in the matrix. They're stuck in the matrix. They trade time for money. They're in this revolving cycle that's completely fucked up. They trade time for money. You know, they have all of these influences, and every generation before them was also in the matrix. So they don't know any fucking better. Right. And we're showing them, hey, look, this is freedom. This is freedom. This is freedom. And they're like, cool, I want that. And they're playing house. You know, just like when I was a little kid, I used to play with like the little army guys, you know what I'm talking about? Little action figures and shit. And I would play that I was in the Navy. I'd play that I was like in a battle. Girls, you played with Barbies. Guys, BP probably played with Barbies too.
I played with stuffed monkeys.
That's 100. That's 100% what a lot of people are doing in real estate and in business. They're playing a game that is not reality because they are 100% stuck. So a big part of what I'm trying to do with these people, and I believe you guys are doing the same thing, is I'm trying to get them free. And that starts mentally. We had somebody that quit the other day was like, man, all you guys do is talk about mindset shit. Like, you're a fucking slave. You're a slave. You know, and they get all offended and pissed off and like, blah, blah, blah. If I can get you free, and I can get you to see things in a different light, you know, take the blinders off, take the glasses off, and you start to see things in a different light. Now you can begin to start to rebuild, right? A lot of people, every generation in their entire family, going all the way back to when we were coming across the river on a wooden ship or whatever, every single generation's been a slave. So that's all they know. It looks fucking cool on Instagram, BP. It looks cool that you're hanging out in the Philippines and you're drinking rum and hanging out with your monkey. It looks cool. And everyone's like, I want that. Right? It looks cool that I'm doing all these vacations and shit. You know, and so people are like, I want that, but they're still stuck in this other reality. They're still stuck in the matrix. There's a scene in the movie, which I think we all probably agree it's a documentary, not a
fuck yes. Fuck yes.
There's a scene where Morpheus, he's like, dude, he's beginning to believe. And that's where a lot of people are. Chris, to your question, you know, I'm around these people a lot. You know, what's prohibiting them? They're still stuck. They're still in the matrix. They've seen little glimpses and little pieces here and there of what freedom could be or what freedom is, but they're still stuck.
Well, and there's another part
tomorrow morning when they wake up, they're going to go back to that. They're going to go clock in, right? And they're going to be influenced by everything that's kept them exactly where they fucking are. And, you know, that's just how it goes.
And there's two scenes in the movie that stand out to me. One of them is the red dress with the girl in the red dress, who basically they use as an example to show that anybody in the Matrix can be one of these agents, because anybody connected to the Matrix at any given point can just absolutely turn on you. And then Morpheus says these people are so dependent on the Matrix that if they show them anything different, they take it as offense because you're challenging everything that they knew.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, this is why we have an age limit as to which people we take out of the Matrix, because past a certain age, people are just too in their own ways to get there. The second scene that just always stands out with me is the part where the guy betrays him. The guy is sitting at a table, he's eating that steak, and he's talking to the agent Smith and saying, I know that this steak is not real. I know that when I put it, my brain is sending electric waves to say that this is juicy and it's going to make me feel good, blah, blah, blah. But if I have to put up another day of reality, if I have to listen to one more real shit, I would rather live in this bullshit ass world knowing that it's bullshit than actually live in reality. And that's most people out there.
You know that scene where he unplugs?
Yeah.
That's my next tattoo. It's about that big. I got a picture of that portal on the back of his neck. That's my next tattoo. I'm gonna get that on the back of my neck.
Nice.
Hey, like, but dude, awesome. Like BP, Chris, how the fuck can people listen to you guys and get mentored by you guys? And I know that you guys are teaching good shit. I know that you guys are teaching people like the legit elements of a deal and how to get free, and then they never do it. How can I mentor? I've mentored 2,700 fucking people in a very short period of time. How can I mentor all these people? And some people take off and they get financially free, and other people, they still can't come up with fucking $50 or whatever. How is that?
I don't get it, because like that guy who quit the other day, like the how-to, that's on the back end. Just go to the website. All the how-tos there. You can get the how-to anywhere, but you guys are trying to, show them kind of like the why, right? People are really resonating with this message. Ralph was agreeing with UBP, saying absolutely. We got JT Turner saying fuck analysis paralysis, more action, less knowledge. Or yeah, we got Gonzalo Avila saying fear and comfort is what hurts people. And we got Ray Rocha saying it didn't hit me until Jordan told me I was a fucking CEO. Act like it. I was like, damn, you're right. That's when things changed for him. So,
and you know what? Sometimes people need a smack upside behind their fucking head.
I know, like I do all the time. Like that's what works for me. Kick my ass.
We all do. This is, guys, so I'm not going to get too deep into this, but part of us being human is that we are very self-deprecating. We're always looking at us. Nobody judges us worse than we judge ourselves. Ooh. Nobody talks to us worse than we talk to ourselves.
Especially the ladies.
Exactly. Like it's incredible. Chris, because you're fucking married, you're like, baby, you look fucking amazing. And she's like, this, and my ankles are not fucking perfectly, and my earlobes don't match. And god damn it, motherfucker, you're like, who gives a fuck? Like, dude, I still want to fuck you. I fucking love you. Like, you're my wife. I love you, baby. We're so self-deprecating that sometimes that's the only thing that we can resonate with is snap out of it, motherfucker. Dude, what the fuck are you fucking doing? What the fuck do you fucking want? And guys, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, we're going to talk about fucking cash flow, but if you don't have the right mindset for cash flow, it don't fucking matter. Me and Jordan can sit here and give you 10 hours of how to. You're still not going to fucking do it anyway, motherfucker. I've shared this before.
Because your fucking head is it's jacked up.
It's too far up your own fucking ass for you to see the goddamn light.
Right.
It takes a while. If your head is stuck up your ass, it takes a lot of effort to pull that motherfucker out. But you guys need to know. So let me give you an example. I keep on talking about my mentor, Jeff Fagan, and he's all about mindset. in his group, the 2% Club, which you see me post about every single Tuesday that I'm in Phoenix. Chris is a part of the 2% Club, and we go there all the time because we practice what we preach. Anyway, this guy from day one has talked about passive income, financial freedom. Passive income, financial freedom. From day one, I said, yeah, I like that. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that's what we're going to fucking do. And I share this all the time. It took me 3.5 years of going there every fucking week. And before I said, you know what? I'm tired of saying, yeah, I'm actually going to fucking do it. Then it took about a year after that before I actually started doing it. Then it took about a year after that before I actually started getting it. It took so much fucking time and so much fucking effort to disconnect from that old programming, to pull that cord out of your neck, like Jordan was saying, Matrix style.
Dude, how
it's so ingrained in you.
Hold on, dude. You're the worst guru I've ever met. There's no way you can, dude. There's no way you can sell that. All right, let's pretend that Chris is a young new brooding.
Of course,
he wants to get financially free. Chris, I want you to work for 2 years on your fucking mindset, and you may or may not make money. But if you can fix that, you can create a limited amount of money. So Chris, I need you to give me 30 grand, and then for the next 24 months, we're just gonna work on your head. that would never, dude. That would never fly.
Never.
You get a fail on the guru scale.
Of course. And guys, I say this all the time, and I use women as an example, but you guys will be. I can relate this to real estate. I would get so much more pussy if I just lied. If I just lied all the fucking time, because I know what they want to hear. If I just lied, I would get so much more pussy. If I didn't have a fucking conscience and I just lied and told people what the fuck they want to hear, I would have a multi-million-dollar fucking real estate guru business going on right now because I have the personality. I know how to talk. I all this other shit that I could do. And trust me, people have told me that many times. I just don't like the horse shit. And in reality, I can teach you guys how to do it. As I said, me and Jordan could literally sit here and go over, all right, guys, here's cash flow 101. Here's how it is. Here's how you do. Here's how you buy your first rental. Here's how you buy a rental without any money. Here's how you scale up. Here's how you do this and that. And you still motherfuckers are not going to do it.
I agree.
Because it takes so much time to get there. Now, one thing that I love about the kingdom is that we talk about real estate, but that's not our primary goal. Our primary goal is happiness. Our primary goal is freedom. And, you know, I was just thinking about this. I spent 2 weeks in the Philippines. I know many people who have gone to the Philippines. They might have gone to the Philippines, but they had nowhere near the fucking experience that I had. They had nowhere near the adventure that I had. They didn't get to know the people, the culture, the food, every single thing as much as I did. Because they're focused on, oh, well, let me make all this money. I got to keep on working, where I'm focused on happiness and freedom and just being who I am. One thing that I love about my business partner, Cashflow Chris over here, is that he always reminds me I'm better when I'm traveling. I am a much more pleasant person. I'm a much more better businessman. Can I just traveling and wandering the fucking world?
Let me say it in a way that you guys will relate to next Friday, a week from today when we're in Charlotte. Equity outside of real estate.
Boom.
Let me say it again. Equity outside of real estate is our theme for Friday next week. Because, dude, BP, you can go do every fucking deal in Arizona and whatever other markets you're working in. You guys could both go do that and still not have a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a multi-million-dollar business and still not have a damn thing. So, you know, Chris, you say that BP's better when he's traveling, and, you know, the happiness thing that you were just talking about, BP, that's equity outside of real estate. And most people have some equity in real estate. They have zero equity outside of real estate.
Well, it's like people in the general public focus on IQ. They want to know your IQ. They want to know how intelligent you are, but nobody focuses on EQ. Nobody focuses on your emotional intelligence. Everybody just focuses on how book smart you are. And just like you were saying, people focus on having equity, like money in the bank, but they don't focus on having equity outside of real estate. And for you guys that didn't watch, so we had a few weeks ago, we interviewed a good friend of mine, Dan Satowski. and he talked about how he was flipping houses left and right, and he was the version of success that we all these young motherfuckers that have never been in the business aspire to be. He had the boats, he had the cars, he had the watch collections, he had this, and that. His wife came up to me and said, "You know what? I'm not fucking happy. I don't never see you. The kids don't ever see you." In his head, he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I'm giving you guys everything. I'm providing the nicest house. I'm providing the nicest schools. I have, the nicest cars. My kids are driving brand new fucking cars. What do you mean this is not enough?" He didn't get it until that point that there was a lot more to it than just money. And by the way, hold on, before you get there, Jordan, if you guys are watching us right now and you want to hear what I just talked about, download our podcast. You can go on iTunes under AZ Flip Guys. You can find our podcast under Flipping Fridays. Dan Satowski, you can download the episode. And by the way, if you are listening to us in a podcast, if you are listening to us on the replay, make sure that you join us live every single Friday at Arizona time, noon Arizona time, because you can actually come in and you can actually ask questions about me and myself and what we're talking about. So Chris, do we have any questions down there?
We got a couple, but Dawn's upset because she knows that you recognize that her earlobes are off. They're not exposing everybody's flaws. Yeah, we got Isaiah Lee's love in the equity outside of real estate. That's deep, man. I never even thought about that. JT's saying invest in relationships. And then Michelle's going to jump on next time you go to the Philippines. She wants to meet all the locals and travel BP style.
Yeah,
what's up? Kingdom.
You know what? I am going to, you know what I'm going to do at some point, Jordan, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but me and you will talk about this and we'll make it happen. We're going to have a Kingdom traveling adventure led by BP. Like, I am going to show you guys how to fucking travel for reals.
You have to sign a waiver before you go, though. Like,
of course.
Kingdom's not responsible for anything that BP and Chris does. Like,
what BP does, because y'all already know. Now, guys,
hey, bring your travel land too, because this guy will eat anything, man. Bring that travel land.
Yes. So I have pills that I carry with me just in case I ever get sick from eating and trying all the street food and whatever. It is what it is. Now, here's the thing is that the main point that we talk about all the time, the main subject that is constantly regurgitated back in the Kingdom, the main thing that, that we talk about all the fucking time and that JT just commented on is relationships, building, sustaining, and moving forward with relationships. Now, Jordan, you mentioned that one of your biggest disdains with these gurus is that they treat people as a number. They treat people as a statistic. They don't consider the fact that this is somebody's biggest investment in their fucking life that is now going to shit because X, Y, Z, whether it's pre-foreclosure, whether it's fucking probate, whether it's divorce, whatever it is, these people are coming in like, "Hey man, I could buy your fucking house." Motherfucker, fuck you. Fuck you. I just found out my fucking wife is cheating on me with my fucking best friend and she's taking the kids and I gotta fucking pay her fucking alimony. Fuck you, you fucking motherfucker. You and everybody else who has come in and talked to me to buy my fucking house. People are approaching this as just a number. And this is not the business that we're in.
Not that I'm in. So I want to present an idea, which may or may not be a scary thing for me to do. A long time ago, there was this thought that came out, and I heard this from my friend Tyler Sheff. Diagnosis without proper examination is malpractice. It's a medical term. So if BP comes to me and he says, "I've got a headache," and I say, "It must be a brain tumor. We're going to have to crack open your skull and take out part of your brain." That would be a diagnosis without proper examination. My issue with the gurus is that they only want you to diagnose blank. Like, dude, you have to talk to the seller and understand what the problem is before you start prescribing fucking Ritalin or whatever the fuck, So a lot of people, they would say, "BP, I'm a wholesaler, and my diagnosis is ARV times 0.70 minus repairs equals blank."
Mm-hmm.
You're pre-prescribing a diagnosis for the seller before you've even talked to them. So one of the things that we teach heavily in the kingdom is you have to ask questions. You need to know, why are they selling and what are they doing with the money? Nobody, that's intrusive. I don't care. Why are you actually selling? It may not be the right diagnosis of a wholesale deal. Maybe it's a lease option. You ever think of that? No. It has to be ARV times 0.70 minus repairs equals blank. Okay, what if it's a subject to deal? What if it's not a wholesale deal at all? Maybe it's a buy and hold deal. Like, you don't know the diagnosis without proper examination. And if you do that, or if you don't do that, that is malpractice. And in the medical world, you'd lose your license. In real estate, it's just another fucking day at the office.
And you know what, Jordan? That's what drives me crazy about realtors. Not only do they misdiagnose, they have one tool. You know, it's
one tool.
We list, or we, you know, like, well, how about this option? How about this option? Like, what is really necessary for the seller? What's important to them, right?
Yeah, and you've got to listen. And again, back to relationships, BP, what you're just talking about is, I'm so frustrated with people trying to fit everybody into this mold of whether it's a flip, whether it's a hold, whether it's a wholesaler. When people come to me and they're like, I'm a wholesaler, I think that's fucking bullshit. Why don't you be a problem solver and see if assigning the contract is the best idea for the seller? I don't care about your fucking $5,000 check. What would serve the seller better? Because maybe a subject to would not only serve the seller better, but it would be more profitable for your business as well. What if they could go hand in hand? You know, your pre-diagnosis was, I'm going to assign it, I'm going to make $5,000, but maybe a lease option would have been 10 times better for the seller in their situation and would have made you more money.
Well, and one of the things that you're mentioning here is the same fucking thing. It's all about your mindset. You have a mindset, preset mindset, that this is the only alternative for this person. This is their only way, because that's the only way that you know how to fucking make money. That's the only way that was taught to you to make money. And I know for a fact that I fell victim to that when I first started. I didn't want to look at more solutions. If it fits this box, good. If not, then I'm going to move on to the next one. But it is what it is.
It's like a chiropractor going door to door and saying, "Oh, you've got a headache. Yeah, let me just align your back. Oh, you've got whatever." It's trying to prescribe one thing and one specialty to every single person, and that's not reality, dude.
And that's what, you know. As I said, that's why we continue going back to mindset. That's why we continue reverting back to mindset. Now, we have to realize that we're dealing with people. And this was one thing that I teach my students, is that we're constantly dealing with people. All the struggles that we have, other people have. All the doubts that we have, other people have. All the fears that we have, other people have. The more you get to know yourself, the more you get to know people in general, which is why I go get lost in places like the Philippines. Outside of Manila, where my VAs live, I didn't know anybody out there. So putting myself out there in the middle of nowhere where nobody knows me, that's my version of getting to know myself, because the more I get to know myself, the better I'm able to communicate with other people and find out, hey, man, how can we better serve you? How can I help you? How can we create these other actions? And I know that with Chris and myself, we've been working hard where we've been focusing on multifamily, but we're like, we're very limiting our investors. We're doing a disservice to our investors by not giving them more options as to what they could invest their money on. So moving forward, we've decided to shift our business plan and shift how we're going to be targeting, so we can better serve different people based on their individual needs, not what we think is the best for them.
So, hey, we got a few questions. You guys ready to start rolling these out?
Let's go.
I was just looking at it.
Well, first of all, what's up to our guy, Ryan Harper, Propelio? You guys are awesome. So Ralph starts us out. When you begin to grow and stretch your resources, did you ever get to a point of, oh, shit? And how did you push past that?
Jordan, I'm going to let you answer that.
Shit. So I really believe that's a scaling question. That's a scaling question 100%. And you've got to scale with what you have. So me personally, I don't know if I ever got to the point of, oh shit, but as I would progress and as I would do deals and as I would have more resources, I would scale up. and I did it in tandem to where I was at now. A lot of people that are brand new, your guru tells you you need a CRM and you need a postcard and you need a website and a business card and listsource.com and yellowletter.com and REI Pro and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's scaling to a point of where you're not at now. You need to do a deal, and then you need to have enough financial fucking IQ to say, okay, I'm going to take 10% out of this deal or 15 or whatever you come up with. I'm going to take 15% out of this deal. I'm going to invest it back into the company for systems. That is the smart way to do it. That is not the way that the gurus teach it, but that is the smart way to do it.
And you just mentioned something that I've ran into. Well, and as I was saying that one of the biggest things that I noticed with people, one of the reasons why I stopped coaching real estate is because I realized that people all want to run before they even know how to motherfucking crawl. Every single person, they hear the horseshit. I need to scale. Well, you know what? First, how about you learn how to do a deal, okay? Then, how about you learn how to get consistent with doing deals? And then maybe you can start upping the amount of money you're making per deal and learn how to get consistent making the bigger amounts of money. And then you can scale up and then you can move forward. People want to go before they grow. People are constantly looking to move forward.
That's the sales pitch though. BP, if you just get REI Pro, which I don't even know is that a thing?
I don't fucking know. I've heard it.
if you just buy this list, you're going to make money, BP. If you just have this CRM, you're going to make money, BP. If you just get investor carrot or whatever the carrot one is, you're going to make money, BP. That is scaling a business before you have any sort of foundation.
Well, so and that's the problem is that if you have a shitty foundation and you're scaling up, you're just scaling a shitty building. You're
scaling a shitty business. And if you don't have a foundation, you start putting block, any little tiny fucking wind that comes is going to knock your entire thing over.
Man, and that's the analogy that I use all the time with my mentorship students. This is why we spend all of our time on mindset, because mindset is the foundation. So here's the analogy that I use. You got two people, you got Joe and Jack, right? And Joe decides that he wants to work on his foundation. So Joe starts digging. Jack just starts building. So Joe is digging and he's digging and he's digging. And before you know it, he's 2 stories down. Jack has already built 2 stories up. And he's like, this is horseshit. Jack is way further than I am. And man, this is horseshit. However, what he doesn't realize is that the first storm that comes their way is going to knock that down.
Dude, that's Instagram. I fucking shit you not. That's Instagram. He's got the Lamborghini. He's on that fucking yacht. Yeah, he's going up, but he has no foundation. And those are the same people that are fucking flat broke 6 months down the road. And you're like, man, sure haven't seen Jordan posting any Lamborghini pictures lately.
So to answer that guy's questions, I have had an oh shit moment. Basically, is when I started scaling my flip business. And I scaled it to a point where I mentioned before I was doing about 15 flips at one time. The amount of payments that I was sending out every single month for our investors, holding costs, utilities, contractors, everything else, that got a little bit scary. But one of the things that I realized is that why the fuck am I doing this to myself? Like, why am I just going big to go big? I remember that I had on my board on my office, I wrote my goals, and my goal is to scale up to 20 houses per, 20 flips at a time and raise X amount of money. And I didn't achieve that because somebody snapped me the fuck out of it and said, why the fuck are you even doing that anyway? And I think that's what goes back to what Jordan was saying, is that people don't build their foundation. So the question that you're asking there is about scaling up, but why the fuck do you want to scale up at this point? Here's what I would suggest to you. Learn to get good at what the fuck you're doing first, then you can duplicate it and scale. But first you need to make sure, because here's the thing, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. You can practice the wrong shit the wrong way, and guess what? You're going to get really, really good at doing the wrong shit. You're going to scale up a shitty fucking business if you don't have your foundation. So Chris, what have we got? A next question?
Oh yeah, Dawn has a doozy for us. So she wants to know, what is the tipping point for someone in the matrix to finally see what they need to see to break free? How do we unplug?
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Jordan, I'm pretty sure you've had this question come up. I'm almost positive. I'm not in your inbox. I don't know. I'm not a fucking guru. I'm not a psychic, but I can almost guarantee you that somebody in the kingdom has came up to me and said, I have a friend, I have a spouse, I have a brother, sister, family member, somebody that I want to help them see the light. Can you help me get them to see the light? And the answer is no. They have to want to see the light. They have to seek the light. It doesn't, you can buy them a membership to the kingdom. They're still not going to fucking do nothing with it anyway. So Jordan, if you want to answer Don's questions, what do you think it takes for somebody to get to the point and say, you know what, enough is enough?
It's different for every single person. There's no one size fits all for tipping point, you know. For me, I was down to my last week where if I didn't make something happen, I would have had to have gone back and got a job. That was my tipping point.
Oh.
It took me 4 or 5 months to get there, you know, in excruciating pain, you know, and the thought of explaining that to my wife and her father-in-law and my father and all these people that I told that I was going to be successful. For me, that was my breaking point. Other people, they hit rock bottom. Like I'm talking boozed out, coked out in the middle of a ditch after going through their front windshield. That's their tipping point. Other people, maybe it's a lot sooner. It's a lot quicker. I don't think there's one size fits all, but every single person has a pain threshold. And I don't mean physical pain. I mean like emotional, and it's different for every single person.
Well, and to answer your question, Don, it's at the point where you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And to Jordan's point, everybody's different. You know, everybody's threshold is different as to what makes you sick and tired. So you might be like, dude, I'm sick and tired of hearing this guy bitch and complain. The other person has to have more extreme. So, but it's at that point, whatever that point is for you or that particular person that you're talking about, when they get to the point where they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired, at that point, they'll make a fucking change. Chris, what else do we got there, buddy?
Let me tag one thing onto that really quick.
Oh, sure.
Do it, Jordan.
We've interviewed a lot of people over the last couple of years, right? And every single one of them explained in great depth what their tipping point was, like Don Costa.
Yep.
You know, his tipping point was going into like Taco Bell and his card declining in front of a restaurant full of people, going home and his water had been shut off. Okay. You know, like Rafael Vargas and some of these other guys that we've talked to, you know, one of them, BP, get this. He took the money his mom needed for a life-altering surgery. He took that money, went and invested it and lost it. And then his mom was like, hey, by the way, I really need that surgery like this week. And he didn't have any money. Right? Like, so like, but everybody has that tipping point, but when, where, how, I can't tell you that, but every successful person that I know has had that tipping point.
I think it's when they're finally honest with themselves, you know, like the rants that you hear BP have, like seriously, every 5-6 months, I have that with myself. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What's wrong with you? Why are you scared? Why this? Why that? And it really comes because it's always on the backside of our mind. But like literally, you need to look yourself in the eye in the mirror and be real with yourself.
And I think that that's one thing that once you start being real with yourself, that's where passive income comes in. That's where financial freedom comes in.
Oh, we'll see how he did that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm a professional or something, right? So anyway, the reason why that happens is because you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to be fucking tired of the rat race. You know, you can sit there, you can be like, oh, my Lambo, my this, my that, blah, 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 blah. But at some point, you have to be honest with yourself. So once again, there's a person that I knew before they were the person that they are at this point. And that particular person invited a good friend of mine to a holiday party. That particular person had a little bit too much to drink, and that particular person started saying a bunch of things. Just being honest, you know, how people tend to do. Anyway, that particular person was insanely honest that he's making millions of dollars a year with his coaching stuff, but he has no passive money at this point. If he doesn't sell coaching programs, he can't continue driving around his Lambos and his Ferraris and whatever the fuck else he's got.
I will say this.
Real life.
People that are making good money struggle to get financially free.
Yes,
You know,
because and it's the curse. This is what I tell people. When you don't come from making very little money and then you start making $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 pops, all of a sudden now it's hard to start focusing on $200 a door, $300 a door. Let me get a few passive income. Let me get some business coming in that's bringing in money. And one of the things, when I started realizing that I am a lazy motherfucker and I don't like to fucking work. Actually, I get joy of not working. People were laughing at me. They were like, oh man, how are you going to make that happen? How is that going to happen? Well, guess what? It's called cash flow. It's called passive income. It's called creating or buying something that's going to produce money coming in without you working. And the same reason why you can't sell mindset on a stage is the same reason why you can't fucking sell cash flow as easy as you can flip of this, do this. Because people understand, boom, boom. They don't understand slow and steady.
That's why I struggle so much in the guru realm, right? Like one of my friends from Texas, he's like, I've never seen you at a fucking closing table. I've never seen you driving for dollars. I've never seen you negotiating. I've never seen you this. I've never seen you that. It's like, I'm like BP. I'm lazy as fuck. And I understood the fact a long time ago that if I just build a team and build systems, I wouldn't have to go do that. Like, I'm wearing my sweatpants. You guys can't see it, luckily. I'm barefoot in sweatpants right now, hanging out in my house, drinking fucking beer.
Yep.
But BP, hustle and grind, sells shit. If I was they're like, what are you doing in your real estate business? I'm just drinking beer, hanging out, watching TV with my wife. That doesn't sell shit. So it's like,
Jordan, so you're...
No, hold up. People glorify hustle and grind, and then they crucify motherfuckers that have built an actual business. Let me say that again.
It's crazy.
I almost slammed my hand down, and I can't do that on a live podcast. People glorify hustle and grind, and they crucify people that have an actual sustainable business.
So my first two tattoos, right over here, hustle, right over here, grind, right over here. I was 22. I was a hustler. I needed to fucking prove to myself that I was a hustler.
We're gonna tattoo over that with cash flow.
Yeah.
Of course. And because you, as you said it, people glorify that. People glorify this whole, I work hard, and they don't look at the reality of things. And the reality of things is that, yeah, you can work hard, but at the end of the day, you're not going to want to do that forever if you are 100% honest with yourself. And I remember putting a post, this was when I first had just a big epiphany about cash flow. And I said, dude, all you motherfuckers that are flipping houses, you're all full of shit. You're talking about how you love real estate. You're fucking full of shit. Because if you were to make $1 million a month passively, would you still be flipping a house? Probably not, motherfucker. Fuck you. Don't fucking lie to me and don't lie to yourself. And guys, this is where we need to be honest with ourselves. We need to understand that this is something that we are we all have the same desire. If you walk into any room and say, hey man, how many of you guys would like to make money without having to work? How many of you guys would like to know that every single month you have 5, 10, 20, 30, whatever, X amount thousand coming in without you having to work? Everybody would raise their fucking hand.
Absolutely. Hey, Jordan, you were talking about how it's difficult for people with high incomes to create passive income. What did you want to expand on that a little bit?
So, like, I've worked with all types of people. I've worked with a guy that was homeless, literally pushing around a shopping cart, collecting cans and recycling them and shit like that. I've worked with that guy all the way up to like doctors and lawyers and like really high W-2 people. The high W-2 person, it's more difficult for them because they have money. So it's more difficult. You guys have played Cash Flow 101, right?
Love it.
You pull the doctor card, you pull the high income card. It takes you a lot longer than the janitor or the school teacher, right?
Yep.
So I've seen that a lot in real estate and coaching and mentoring people, because that pain threshold, it takes them a lot longer to get there, right?
Well, and you've ever read that book, The Millionaire Next Door? It gives the examples of the two brothers. One of them's a school teacher, the other one's a lawyer. but the lawyer's lifestyle costs so much more. Just like you're talking about in the game cash flow, when you get the doctor or whatever, yeah, you're making more money, but your lifestyle costs so much more that it's a lot harder to move into passive income.
Well, now you need 75 doors.
Yep.
At $200 a month to even cover your basic shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where the plumber, 10 doors would cover his shit. So the people that I work with that are both highly educated, they think they know everything and they have a lot of money. It's very difficult for those people to get free because they don't have the same pain as the guy that's just barely scraping by. The guy that's barely scraping by, like,
exactly. And that was a book that came out with the Shark Tank guy, right? What was that book? The Power of Broke. The Power of Broke basically talked about that. You know, when you're comfortable, it's a lot harder, and this is why a lot of times you see the self-made people. They normally come from less. You know, they're not middle class. They're lower class because middle class is comfortable. I remember when I first started, this realtor took a liking to me, and he said, "Look, man, I'm gonna just tell you." If you want to make it in real estate, you have to be really, really rich or you have to be really, really poor. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yes.
He's like, you have to be really, really rich where you can sustain yourself for a few years while you're figuring this shit out, or you have to be really, really poor where you know how to get by with very little. And moving into cash flow, it's a lot easier to get financially free when your expenses are minimal as opposed to having a very lavish lifestyle. Now, once you get financially free, you can always scale that up. But just to get out of the rat race, to cover your basics, as you were saying in the game Cash Flow 101, if you're a doctor, now you need 75 doors to cover your basic stuff, which is your mortgage, your insurance, all your basic shit.
Yeah.
So guys, make sure that you are focusing on cash flow. Now, Jordan, I know that you
BP, you're breaking up, man. So let's go to some of our viewers here. We got Celie in the house, Frank Spalding's in the house. We got John Villanueva talking about those damn golden handcuffs, right? That's a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else do we got here, guys? Bring your questions. We got Jordan here for a few more minutes. Jordan, why don't you tell them a little bit more about the kingdom? And I know it's not an event happening, but tell us a little bit more what's going on in Charlotte.
Yeah, so the kingdom in general is a mentorship community, it's not a course, it's not a curriculum, etc. Although we do provide that. The kingdom in itself is a place where we feature 10 plus guys that are doing 7 figures a year that show up every day to help people. We realized a while back that a huge part of our community was meeting in person and really connecting and collaborating together. So Connect started last year. I rented a mansion in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. A lot of the people watching right now, A lot of the people watching right now were actually in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina with us a year ago. So we rented a big place, had about 35, 40 people that came and showed up, and we just hung out with them for 4 days. That went so well that we started, we went to Arizona and we met you guys. Then we went to Dallas, Texas a little bit ago. And our next experiences in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's really an excuse for me to spend time and love on people in our community. We've got some great people coming, you guys included. Todd Fleming's going to be there. We've got guys like Colby Kay coming, Dom Fawcett coming. Both of those guys are local to you in your market. Mm-hmm. We've got guys like Chris Rude coming to share the stage. Q Nicole McNair. We just have a phenomenal group of people coming, not to speak on stage and then rush out the back, but to come party with us for the weekend and really invest and dive deep into relationship and collaboration. You guys were both in Dallas, Texas. In Dallas, Texas, there was 75 deals put under contract and there was $2 million raised.
Wow.
So we had 60 some odd people in Dallas, Texas. For anybody of you guys watching this, have you ever been to a mega conference held by a big guru where there was 75 deals put under contract and $2 million raised? Probably not, because that's not the focus of an event. So Connect is 100% about collaboration and 100% about how do we join hands, how do we utilize resources and put them together so that everybody wins in attendance, speakers and attendees and everybody. So we've got that coming up.
That's one of the things I loved about that was that you guys facilitated the opportunity for people to meet. Well, the first time that I met you guys was over in Arizona. You had a house with a pool. And I remember that it was like, we have these, this, and that. And then between 1 and 3 is pool time. And it was just it wasn't lunch. It was a scheduled pool time for people to just hang out and be, because you guys realized that it's all about networking and it's all about the connections. And as I said, one of the things that I love about the kingdom is that you're not preaching a system, you're teaching freedom. And you're teaching freedom and you're teaching cash flow. And I know that, you know, one of the things that you do is real estate, but that's not the only way that you make your money. You have other ways that you come in to bring cash flow. So why don't you talk a little bit about some of the other things that you do outside of real estate to create cash flow?
Yeah, so this throws people off, but I do not consider myself solely a real estate investor. I consider myself a business owner that has multiple parallels. Real estate is one parallel. Growing up, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. So I learned a lot about business before real estate, and there's a lot of different creative ways to make money. And, you know, we've thrown around the word financial literacy. I'm huge on that. So there's been other things I've been involved in. I've done stuff with like a t-shirt company. I've done stuff with a freight brokerage. Some of that is ongoing. I've had stuff with like coffee kiosks and stuff like that. Obviously, I have an education program called the Kingdom Real Estate and the Kingdom Connect, where we just go hang out with people. But it's amazing to me how much opportunity is out there when you have financial literacy. You know, when you take those blinders off, there really is a really wide array. So I don't want to go too deep into all of that.
Well, but that goes back to what we've been talking about this whole time, you know, for the hour plus that we've been on, which is mindset. It all goes back to your mindset. When you have the right mindset, all of a sudden you can see the opportunities. You can see the potential. You can see, you know what, hey guys, there is ways to make money in real estate, but real estate ain't the only thing. And by the way, I'm not chasing real estate. I'm chasing freedom. I'm chasing passive income. I'm chasing, you know, I talk about this, and one of my mentors just broke it to me the best way that I've ever heard it. He's like, Brian, I only want 3 things. I want time freedom, I want financial freedom, and I want peace of mind. Those are my only goals. That I don't write goals. I don't sit there and do vision boards or any of this shit. I get fucking 3 things, and that's all I want. If anything doesn't fit in that box, I don't want to do it because it doesn't add to the life that I am looking to live. And honestly, I've taken a lot of that philosophy where people are like, dude, you could be doing more. Yeah, I could be doing more, but that's not the life that I want. I want to do the shit that I want to do, how I want to do it. And to some people, riding the Benzes and having the watches and the cars and the Ferraris and everything else, that might be what's up for them. But to me, just having the freedom of doing what the fuck I want to do, when the fuck I want to do, and be the person that I know that I am. And that's one of the things that I love about you, Jordan, is that regardless of what people say, regardless of the fucking haters, regardless of the people making up shit. By the way, thank you, Jordan, for introducing me to the haters club. Because I knew, like, I mean, there's always people talking shit, and I knew that people didn't like me. I never had people literally go out of their way. And Jordan said that somebody was talking shit, saying that I don't pay my investors back and that I owe people money and stuff like that, which is fucking hilarious, by the way. Nonetheless, though, thank you for joining me. But one of the things that I do appreciate the shit out of you, Jordan, is for constantly being yourself and just letting people be them who they are. And that's one of the things that you said. The kingdom is not a program, even though you do have how-tos on the website. It's more of a community. It's more of a place for us to gather and be like, hey, this is who we are. And one of the things that I really, really thank you for personally is giving me a platform to be able to share my passion with people. You know, I've gotten a lot of messages from people about the Mindset Monday videos that I do, and they really, really are attaching themselves to that message and having a platform where I can be myself at times. I don't have to be criticized about what I'm doing on the video, how I'm speaking, if I'm being too blunt about everything. And that just goes back to you and what you've created here in the kingdom. And I really want to thank you. And I believe that a lot of this has to do with just your version of freedom. You know, let's be free in all way possible.
Yeah, people think that haters are negative.
No,
we had I call him my friend because I've never met him. Maybe we would be friends. But my friend in Texas, you know, he was very vocal about our upcoming meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina. And you know, I mean, very vocal. Like his buddy wrote songs about it. Like they're catchy. Like I might put it as my ringtone. I think I'm gonna walk in Charlotte. I'm gonna walk on stage with his theme song, just as a look, brother, I love you. But in Dallas, we had like 60, 65, 70. Our event doubled from Dallas to Charlotte, probably because he promoted it in a negative way, which brought a lot of light to who we actually are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, don't get rid of your haters. You need to find more and put them on fucking payroll, because my event doubled from getting a very vocal hater that was writing songs about me.
Wow.
And that all goes back to having the right mindset, guys. That all goes back to freedom, being free of the mind, having that equity outside of real estate. As I said, guys, passive income is awesome. Passive income is great. I highly suggest that you look into passive income. If you're one of these people right now, 6-7 figure earners, wholesalers, flippers, understand that you're going to have to continue doing that the rest of your fucking life if you want to continue that lifestyle. Or you can tone that shit back, learn how to create passive income. It doesn't specifically have to be real estate, because even within real estate, you can do multifamily, which I know that you have your podcast, Multifamily Mafia. You can do notes, you can do rentals, you can do many different ways, creative ways to create passive income. Hell, the other founder of the Kingdom, Todd, he blew my mind on his thing where he was talking about financing the wholesale fees, so you can create passive income off a wholesale deal. There's many ways to create passive income, but the reason why you want to create passive income is freedom, and that is far more important than the how. If you're interested in the how, you can always reach out to us. We have a link that we'll put on there if you guys want to join the Kingdom, where we'll actually get you 1 month free, so you can see what the fuck we're talking about. And if you guys know me, you know that I don't promote bullshit. I never align myself with something that I don't personally believe. My word is my bond. I'm not out there promoting any type of horse shit that I think is just bullshit because, it sounds good. No, hell no. If I'm talking about it, it's something that I personally believe that I go with. So if you guys are interested in checking out more about the Kingdom, if you guys are interested in finding out what the fuck this crazy motherfucker Jordan is talking about, what the fuck are these Mindset Monday videos? Those sound pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys know, but Cashflow Chris just did a live video where he was talking where he was going through new builds. And we have many other mentors in the Kingdom that go out there and constantly share. Jordan, how many fucking live? I think you made a post recently about how many lives we had within like a week or 2 weeks of the Kingdom. What was that number again?
It was almost 100. I don't remember the exact. It was like it was a lot, dude. A lot.
So we're as I said, we're a community. This is a way for us to connect with people. And as the Kingdom here at the AZ Flip Guys, you guys know we don't sell anything, we don't pitch anything. So we will give you a month free. Check out the Kingdom, and if it's something that you find value, I would highly suggest you check it out. I'm pretty sure we're all sold out for Charlotte since we're here on Friday, but we're going to be at the next event, and I'll be at the next Connect after that. So if you guys want to get to know me personally, if you guys want to spend some time with Cashflow Chris, if you guys want to spend some time with Mr. Jordan Payne or all the other people that you see in the Kingdom, make sure that you give us a message. Chris, you'll go ahead and put the link on there, and we'll get that going. Jordan, we really
hold on, BP, 1 second before we put a pin in this episode. I just want to remind everybody, AZ Flip Guys are going on the road, as we talked about. So guys, next week is our 100th episode. So, it's been a ton of fun. We can't, we're awesome. It's awesome that we're going to be able to share this with the Kingdom at their event. We're still going to figure out what we're going to do. It may not be noon Arizona time. It may change, but we'll let you guys know. Secondly, we're going to do a little debrief of this, and we're going to catch up with BP after the show. So go to the AZ Flip Guys on YouTube after the show for our version of Overtime.
Yes, guys. And if you guys are interested in hearing this and every other episode, this episode will be posted on our podcast on Monday. So you guys, once again, you guys can find us on Spotify. You guys can find us on Podbean. You guys can find us on iTunes under Flipping Fridays. If you guys are listening to this on a replay, whether it be a replay on Facebook, whether it be a replay on YouTube, or on a podcast, first of all, if you're listening to us on a podcast, make sure that you download this episode, make sure you give us a 5-star review, and make sure that you share with your friends, because as we constantly say, we're not selling anything, we're not pitching anything. But if you're listening to us on a recording, yeah, obviously make sure you subscribe. Thank you for reminding me of that.
Duh.
Even my kid knows that. Ring that bell.
But if you are listening to a recording and you want to join us live, where you can ask questions just like all of our other guests listed, make sure that you join us live every single Friday, noon Arizona time, facebook.com/AZ Flip Guys. So Jordan, real quickly before we let you go, I know that you got your podcast. As I said, you got the Multimedia Mafia. You got your other stuff that you're doing. Anything you want to let people know, how they can get a hold of you, how they can hear more of your content if people are interested in connecting with you?
Sure. Yeah. The best way to connect with me is just on Facebook. It is if you just type in Jordan Stanley Payne, you'll find me on Facebook. Instagram, The Kingdom Real Estate. The podcast is Multifamily Mafia. I stopped doing it. I hit 100 episodes, had 100,000 viewers or downloads, and I stopped doing it. BP, we just talked about this because I've said everything I can say. I've said everything over 100 episodes. I've said every single thing that I can say. I am transitioning that to a live show like you guys are doing right now on Zoom webinar. Mm-hmm. So guys, go check it out. There's 100+ episodes of really good content. It is Multi-Family Mafia. Then eventually I'll have a live show probably in the next month or so.
And guys, once again, make sure that if you are interested in joining the Kingdom, we do have a month free, so go check that out. If you do join, it's very, very expensive. Very, very inexpensive. Exactly. Jordan just gave me the fish fly. What the fuck? No, very, very inexpensive.
How cheap it was, to be honest with you.
It's $45,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Over 20 years.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, guys, if you're interested in that, check us out. Chris will put the link, and we'll go ahead and we have a 1 month free, so you guys can check that out. Jordan, I thank you once again for being on our show. I thank you for sharing your information. I think that your point just resonates a lot with what we're talking about. And more than that, I thank you for being one of the founders there in the Kingdom. As somebody who has done a lot of networking themselves, when I went there, I'm like, I'm home. This is exactly where I belong. And as you said, the people there, we've actually had some potential deals, some potential investors, a lot of connections that we've made there at the Kingdom that we made specifically from connecting with other people from the actual Kingdom Connect events. Yes, the online community is cool, but going and actually spending time with us, that's more amazing. So anyway, guys, that is Cashflow Chris. I am Cashflow Creator. We want to remind you to flip for cash, but more importantly, we want to make sure that you hold for wealth. Join us next time, because we're going to have 100th episode live at Kingdom Connect. This shit is going to be nuts.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
Peace out.
All right, guys.